Those that are willing to invest the time into Sekiro Shadows Die Twice will find themselves immersed in an experience that easily sits alongside FromSoftware's best work, and a genuine Game of the Year contender. Make no mistake friends, Sekiro is hard as nails. It's undoubtedly up there with the most challenging games I've ever played. How difficult you find this game comes down to personal experience I guess, but where Dark Souls is very much an RPG at heart, one where grinding and leveling up can actually compensate for any inherent lack of skill, Sekiro constantly demands your precision and focus. The game is set during Sengoku-era Japan in the throes of a vicious war, and there are plenty of strange FromSoftware touches. There are terrifying demons, bizarre-looking humans, and other grisly creatures lurking out there in the dark. You'll play as a noble master shinobi warrior known only as the Wolf. Tasked with protecting the young heir to an ancient and pure bloodline, it's not a spoiler to say that the game's opening sees the Wolf getting beat down pretty hard, losing an arm and the boy he was tasked to protect. It's not all doom and gloom though, as we're soon fitted with a Shinobi Prosthetic for our troubles, a replacement arm that comes with all manner of gizmos and attachments. To discuss the game's plot anymore would be to spoil too many of the game's surprises, but I will say it's cool to see FromSoftware ditch the vague, lore-reliant world building of previous games and deliver a more focused, story-driven experience. That's not to say there isn't plenty of optional lore to dig out, of course there is. What I will say is that the Shinobi Prosthetic immediately jumped out to me as one of the most versatile, cool, and genuinely fun to use video game weapons since Kratos' axe from last year's God of War. Leaping between buildings with a grappling hook before pouncing on an unsuspecting enemy has yet to get old, even 20 odd hours into the experience. As you explore, you'll find new attachments for your arm which can be fitted by the mysterious sculptor. Discovering and making proper use of these attachments is vital for progression in Sekiro. If you're skilled enough, you can probably get through most of the game using just your katana and your wits, but I found that working out a particularly tough opponent's Achilles heel and then discovering the right tool for the job was one of the most satisfying aspects of the game. Stealth, of course, plays a big role in Sekiro, and while you certainly don't need to flit through the game undetected to beat it, it's a vital component to survival. Scoping out an area and silently picking off enemies as efficiently as possible is vital, especially since it's easy to get overwhelmed by multiple foes. On that note, my one major criticism is that you can occasionally get trapped in a corner or stuck against an object while a mob merrily hacks you apart, leaving you unable to do anything but die. This is an issue that has been in most FromSoftware games, and I hated seeing it here. Thankfully, playing as a stealthy boy is hugely fun, and it was incredibly cool to feel like a master shinobi warrior, something I am definitely not since it usually takes me 5 minutes to get up off the sofa. One-on-one combat is a delicate dance of knowing when to dodge, when to press your attack, and when to counter. Both you and your opponent have a posture meter which when full can throw you off balance and leave you open for a killing blow, which tends to result in a satisfyingly over-the-top spray of crimson as you ram your sword into your foe's neck. Different enemies have different patterns, and just like in Dark Souls, you'll need to learn them to really come out on top. Unlike Dark Souls, you will have to learn to parry if you want to survive. Sorry about that. Skill points are earned by taking out enemies, and these points can be spent on picking up new abilities and techniques for your shinobi warrior via an easy-to-use skill tree. Early on, you'll be able to pick up a fearsome spin attack and an improvement to your grapple ability that allows you to fly towards enemies and unleash a flurry of slices with your katana. Unfortunately, upon death, you'll lose half of all XP towards your skill points with no way to get it back. This means you need to seriously consider whether it's worth jumping into a fight or retreating to save your precious skill points, adding an extra tension to combat. Progression in Sekiro is well balanced, and there's no one upgrade you can grind for that'll suddenly make the game easier. Your own developing skill as a player and understanding the game's mechanics and world are what really push you to victory here. Sekiro also has an innovative mid-battle resurrection mechanic that can be used in various interesting ways. Since enemies take your death at face value, you can play dead for a while before jumping back in, sneaking behind your foe and getting a stealth kill. You can also use these fake deaths as an opportunity to retreat and conserve your experience, since only a proper death results in any kind of penalties. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is a genuinely outstanding game that makes me feel everything from intense rage to dizzying pride. It's a game that demands your patience, focus, and respect from the very beginning and doesn't let up for even one moment. If you're ready to hurt again, but also to play one of the most ingeniously designed games of the last year, maybe even decade, then I can't recommend Sekiro enough.